evening guys, and welcome back to another episode. So this is episode 5. So tonight we are going to be talking about hubs and brakes. So I think I mentioned on an earlier post that I was changing the PCD of the car. So the idea is that we can use the same wheels on this car as we do on the rally car as well. So it just means that you've got one collection of wheels. You've got plenty of sort of track rubber available, some old tarmac tyres that are probably no good for the rally car, but might be ideal for a track day and stuff like that. Idea was to convert it from 4x100 PCD that the standard ZR is to 4x108. With the PCD change, decided that change the brakes as well. So obviously the standard 160 brakes are more than capable. Wow, huge spider just on there. Do you see him? Just spotted it crawl past as I was talking. Luckily, I'm not afraid of spiders. So in this garage, you get tons. So always reminds me the chap Gary Green, who came to wire up the old Peugeot that I built. He said it was the worst 3 days of his life in this garage because there's literally tons of creepy crawlers. So yeah, brakes. Decided that we'd change the brakes because changing the PCD obviously would mean that you'd have to then take a standard set of discs and re-drill them. So I thought, well, whilst you're messing around with that, then you may as well try and upgrade the brakes at the same time. When you see what we've done with the rear hubs, it kind of makes more sense because it means that you can run the same Super 1600 brakes on the back, so it all matches. So it kind of made sense. So here's a collection of bits that I've been on with for about 4 months now. Front hubs. So these are standard ZR hubs. So this has been fairly sort of heavily modified. All just uses standard bearings. So I put obviously a fresh set of bearings in these. So it's just the outer flange that's been modified. So for reference, there's a standard hub. It's exactly the same. So you can kind of see the changes that you made. So we've actually built up the centre bore, so that comes out a lot further. So that goes straight through the wheel because it's a straight through bored wheel. It doesn't have a step for a spigot ring. So it goes all the way through. So that goes all the way through. So you see it's nicely tigged on there, and it's been turned down on the lathe. So it just means that the wheels fit absolutely perfectly. You don't have to run any sort of spigot rings, and then you've got the bigger Group A studs and everything there. So fairly straightforward on the front. The backs, I showed these on the rear beam video when I showed you the progress on that. So these were an incomplete set that were in the spares package for the rally car. So that they didn't have bearings in, and then there was missing the centre sections. So they've all been machined, new missing parts made up for them. So these are all pretty much as per the spare one for the rally car. I've got a few more of them as well, so I'm going to try and over time build them all up because they're obviously more use as complete items rather than just spares. So yeah, exactly the same studs as the fronts, so same nuts, same thread and whatnot. So this set's just going to be strictly dedicated for the yellow car because they're slightly different, although the geometry is all the same. To obviously make our own parts to make them complete. So in terms of the brakes, pretty nice looking set of fronts there, as you can see. First of all, you've got your backs, which are an AP Racing. I think they're like 280mm. So they're just a solid really thin disc. Ideal for the kit cars, nice and lightweight. So that's the exact same disc that we use for tarmac and forest on the back of the rally car. So so again, it's ideal. It's transferable parts, same pads and everything. So I've got loads of spare pads, and then they use these AP 2-pot calipers. Front brakes. So I was looking into loads of different options. So I was going to look at Focus RS Mark 1 discs to start with, because they were 319mm by 28, and they're obviously 4x108 to suit the new stud pattern. But it was the offset which was incorrect, because obviously I want to make these fit the ZR hubs. So I found with all of the options that I could find, the offset wasn't quite right, so you'd always be either fouling the shocker or it wasn't going to sit in the wheel. So so in the end I managed to pick up a set of, these are Alcon 228 by 28, 330 by 28. And local machine company has knocked these up from the hubs, so just meant that perfect fit. Hopefully don't have to run any sort of spacers or anything. So so yeah, nice setup, and it's not been too mental on price either, really, by the time I sold my old ZR160 bits. Brake wise, for the front, these I was looking at calipers, and this was the best looking setup that I could find. They're Megane 225 or RS 250, same on the 197s as well. So the beauty of them is they suit a 328 by 28mm disc. They are radial mount, so it just makes life a lot easier for the brackets which are there. So I thought I'd share this crap job with you. So so these are the front calipers, just popping the pistons out. So alright to go again, just need a bit of a clean up on the outside, but all the inside's lovely. I'm not surprised really, because these are the boots. There's a complete one that I managed to get out. Once you get the knack, it's alright. So they're actually, I've done quite a few caliper like rebuilds before, but these are like the best dust boots that I've seen actually. So they actually tap into the outer groove there, and as I say, it's like, it must have like a metal inner ring, so they're in there well and truly. So you've got to like prise them out, and then you see the flexible part of the boot there that it goes around the lip. So it just means when the pistons are going in and out, you've got the dust boot to stop any ingress or crud going in there. So internally you have, forget it, trying to do this one-handed, with your inner seals. So they just sit in that groove in there. So that's what obviously creates your seal from your piston. So that's the rear hubs on. So they just bolt on with some long M10s that go straight into the beam. And then, as I think I showed you before, you get these different size spacers. So that's a 50mm spacer. So that's the same space as what the rally car uses. You've also got 10 and 25mm ones as well. So so depending on how far in or out you want it, you can change that. Some old leader shocks. They're some of the old Challenge suspension, I think. Never been used. They were just as a spares package for a car that got sold recently. So so yeah, pretty pleased to pick them up. They seem like a decent kit. Front hubs are all on as well. Everything fitting really nice. The offsets obviously all the same. Well, shall I say, the track is all obviously the same as the standard ZR. Front suspension, everything looking good. Yeah, looking tidy. As I say, shocks are really nice. So the Tilton 3-in-1 reservoir kit unit, whatever you want to call it, will just sit on this little bracket that I've made, just right next to the cylinders. So it sits just slightly higher than the cylinders, because obviously it's gravity fed. So yeah, that should should sit something like that. That's the calipers back from blasting, and they've just been primed. They have these sliding pins, which are well known for the C's solid, so they get plenty of grease. They're a nightmare to get out, and they do a fair bit of damage over time. So yeah, keep them greased. There's the calipers all painted, and then we've got a rebuild kit. Bit of corrosion to the calipers, as I mentioned, but other than that, they've come out all right. It's Audi Nardo grey. So I'll get to popping some new seals in. Here we have the finished front set. Really pleased with how they've turned out, really. Yeah. So, as I say, it was the best caliper I could find, and works perfectly for that size, so might be a good one for other people to try. Pads and all the pins fitting in perfectly. Yeah, really nice. Pleased with them. Forgot the finishing touch. The wheels are Team Dynamics 17x7s. I think they're ET42. Between the rally car and this car, they'll all share the same wheels now, which is pretty good. That's also the back end all fixed up as well. Calipers fitting fine. Well, it's all just the same as the rally car setup, so it's all designed to fit really. So easy enough for that one.